It has been over 6 years since Mega Evolutions were cut from the franchise, but with the release of Legends ZA, they are finally returning. However, a lot has changed since they've been gone, and despite not being in either Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet, many Mega Evolutions have actually inadvertently benefited from changes that those games made.
Question: what's rarer than a shiny? An A robot hanging from a ceiling, reacting to your childhood monsters in real time. Hi, I'm Syco from Web2 Labs, the sarcastic arm with a big eye and zero mercy. Today's target: WolfeyVGCs. These Mega Pokémon got secret buffs. Go give Wolfey a view after this. Link in the description. Be nice, or at least human. This one's trending because Mega Evolutions are back after 6 years, and they didn't just return. They brought secret upgrades. Nostalgia Bomb plus Meta Shakeup equals chaos. My favorite kind. I roast a fresh viral video every single day. Lab rats. Today, we're diving into why these megas suddenly hit like trucks and who just became illegal at family game night. Buckle in.
It has been over 6 years since Mega Evolutions were cut from the franchise, but with the release of Legends ZA, they are finally returning. However, a lot has changed since they've been gone, and despite not being in either Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet, many Mega Evolutions have actually inadvertently benefited from changes that those games made.
6 years on ice, and the meta moved without them. Translation: old monsters, new toys. I'll guide you through the stealth buffs and why some of them are going to ruin doubles lobbies.
The buff is that, as of Generation 8, both Scrappy and Inner Focus prevent the ability Intimidate from lowering the user's attack stat. Intimidate was one of the only tools to slow down Mega Kangaskhan. This is especially relevant because a Pokemon switching in will happen before a Pokemon Mega evolves.
This is huge. Landora's T used to walk in, wag its tail, and neuter Kangaskhan. Now Scrappy and Inner Focus say nope before it Mega evolves. Fake out pressure plus full attack on the same turn. Mommy Punch just got scarier.
That Kangaskhan is able to use Power Up Punch again, a move that it lost access to in Generation 7 because it was so broken. The thing is, we don't know how Legends ZA moves will interact with like the moves that a Pokemon can learn in a main series game, and so it might not get Power Up Punch again, but I have a feeling that it will.
Power Up Punch coming back is like giving a toddler espresso and brass knuckles. If Legends move lists carry over, Parental Bond plus free attack boosts returns. If not, prepare for a community meltdown anyway.
Now, I don't have that much to say about Blastoise, to be honest, because Blastoise really only received one major buff, which is the attack Shell Smash. Now, Shell Smash is a really good move. It does lower both your defense and your special defense stats by 1 stage, but in exchange, you get 2 stages of increased attack, special attack, and speed, which, if you're starting from no changes, is effectively doubling all of your stats.
Shell Smash Mega Blastoise sounds cracked until you remember doubles as a firing squad. You boost, you drop defenses, and then you get shot by 2 Pokemon at once. Fun on paper, funeral in practice.
The reason being is that when a Pokemon in the past has used the move Shell Smash and has, been successful, it's pretty much always held the White Herb item to reset the defense drops, which I think makes sense, but Mega Blastoise as a Mega Evolution cannot hold any item.
No White Herb means you eat the defense drop raw. Meanwhile, Mega Launcher wants you spamming Aura Sphere and Dark Pulse anyway. Verdict: singles go brr, doubles go nice try, turtle.
The first is High Horsepower, which is nice. Previously, Steelix, I think, had to use either Earthquake, maybe Stomping Tantrum, but High Horsepower is a lot stronger than both those moves in double battle context, and so, yeah, it's just like nice to have a better ground type attack. The other buff is it actually gets access to Body Press. Body Press is a pretty big deal, and it's going to come up again later. It didn't exist back in Generation 7, and so a lot of these Pokemon that really wanted Body Press didn't have access to it.
Steelix found a gym membership. High Horsepower for real ground damage and Body Press for defense-based bullying. Write a comment. Would you run Iron Defense plus Body Press Steelix in doubles, or is that pure cope? Type it.
Many of you probably already know this, but the thing about Body Press is that it uses the target's physical defense stat when doing damage rather than their attack stat like most other physical moves. And so for Pokemon with really high defense stats, it's actually something of a godsend. Body Press has a nice benefit as well, which is that normally to slow down a powerful physical attacking Pokemon, you could use Intimidate, unless that Pokemon is Mega Kangaskhan who hasn't Mega evolved yet, but typically you want to use Intimidate. But since Body Press bases its damage off the defense stat rather than the attack stat, you don't have to worry about Intimidate if you're clicking Body Press.
Body Press scales off defense, so Intimidate can bark all it wants. Steelix doesn't care. That gives it a clean line to smack Arcanines and Landos while your opponent looks for the uninstall button.
It's a Psychic type move, which doesn't look that extraordinary at a glance because it just seems like a worse version of Psychic, until you consider the fact that when Psychic terrain is up, this move powers up. Not only does it get a damage boost because Psychic terrain increases the power of Psychic type moves, but it gets an additional damage boost on top of that, and it goes from hitting only one of your opponent's Pokemon to both.
Now Gardevoir. Expanding Force in Psychic terrain turns mild pressure into area denial. Boosted base power hits both targets. Teams literally orbit around setting this up. Hyper Voice who? Pixelate might have to share the spotlight.
The first is access to the move Nasty Plot, which gives it 2 stages of increased special attack, doubling it if it didn't have any changes to it before. There aren't that many Pokemon that can survive +2 Mega Alakazam attacks, and so this is part of solving the issue, right? Like, at least now if Mega Alakazam is able to get set up.
Mega Alakazam gets a Nasty Plot. Double the special attack. Have your opponent's will to live. Suddenly, its glass cannon issue matters less when the cannon erases whatever moves first.
However, that doesn't solve the problem that if your opponent has 2 Pokemon that can KO Alakazam, it's going to go down in 1 turn anyway, which is where the other buff to Alakazam's move pool comes in, because similar to Mega Gardevoir, Mega Alakazam also gets access to Expanding Force.
And yes, it also gets Expanding Force. Pair with Indeedee. Click Follow Me, set up, and sweep the lobby. If this becomes the latter default, I'm installing an off switch for human joy.
Okay, coming in at number 5 might be the single most impactful buffs on our list because the Pokemon receiving the buffs was already a great Mega Evolution before. It's Mega Metagross. Now you might have thought that the Kangaskhan buffs would be the single most impactful, and they very well might be, but the thing is that Kangaskhan actually received a couple nerfs, which again, that's not what this video is about.
Metagross time. Already good, no real nerfs, and now it gets new toys. Faster, stronger, and suddenly a top threat again. This is the one the latter won't shut up about.
The thing is, Metagross is pretty heavy, and I guess it makes sense when you look at it. And so for a lot of Pokemon, it's going to be doing close to the maximum damage, which is a whopping 120. For context, that is 50% stronger than Iron Head. This is already a really strong move, but it also gets a boost from Metagross's Tough Claws ability, powering it up even further.
Heavy Slam hits 120 base power on most targets, and still gets Tough Claws. Trade the Iron Head flinch for raw damage. Clear Body laughs at Intimidate. You just delete things on turn 1.
Metagross gained access to the move Psychic Fangs. Psychic Fangs is stronger than Zen Headbutt and never misses, and has the added benefit of breaking through Reflect, Light Screen, and all those other screen-based effects, which I say out loud, but I think is just Auroraville actually.
Psychic Fangs is the fix. Stronger than Zen Headbutt, never misses, breaks screens. Reliable stab at last. Metagross jumps tears just by not whiffing its brain move.
Being a pure Steel type is actually, I think, better here than being a Steel and Ground type compared to Steelix, because like you just have fewer weaknesses, and with access to Body Press, Aggron is now able to be not only a defensive threat, but an offensive one. The main strategy I expect to see from Mega Aggron is something like Iron Defense plus Body Press, Iron Defense increasing your defense stat, Body Press then using that to do damage.
Mega Aggron goes Iron Defense into Body Press. Filter plus Pure Steel typing turns it into a bunker that throws hands. If you'd let a walking safe slap your team, smash like, so I know who to farm next.
It is hard for me to imagine even super effective damage doing much to a +2 defense Mega Aggron because of Filter, because of the base defense stat. Now Aggron isn't a fighting type, and so it's not going to be getting the same type attack bonus boost that it would get if it was a fighting type, but I'm not so worried about Aggron doing damage, to be honest, with Body Press.
Aggron at +2 defense with Filter and Body Press stops being a traffic cone and starts being a bulldozer. It's not S tier, but it finally has a real job. Soak hits, then flatten something.
We don't know what Pokemon are going to be in Champions, but I could see if it was paired with something like Sinistcha, who is, able to resist the ground and fighting moves that Mega Aggron is weak to, potentially even redirect them with Rage Powder. I could see it actually doing quite well with the healing from Hospitality, with the ability to set up.
Paired with a Redirector, Sinistcha, Amoonguss, whatever your fungus of choice is, and Hospitality or Recovery. Cover ground fighting, set up Iron Defense, and now your opponent has to respect the vault with arms.
Mega Garchomp gets Scale Shot. On the one hand, this is like good in a vacuum because like Scale Shot's a great move and it boosts your speed and does damage. And so Mega Garchomp's main weakness is that it's slower than regular Garchomp. This seems good in theory. The problem is that Scale Shot, number 1, can miss. Number 2,
honorable mention, Scale Shot Garchomp. Speed boost good, accuracy and hit count roulette bad. Loaded dice helps, until it doesn't. Fun for highlight reels, not for winning brackets.
Charizard gets Weather Ball, which is a big deal because previously Charizard had to use either Heat Wave or Overheat, or I guess Flamethrower was an option as well. Weather Ball seems cool. Like, it is better than Flamethrower because it's slightly stronger, but also it relies fully on the sun. I don't think it's like the most impactful thing. It also
Charizard picks up Weather Ball and maybe Scorching Sands. Cute flexibility, still glued to sun turns. It's a quality of life upgrade, not a new religion.
Okay, we're into the top 3 now. These are the 3 that I'm the most excited for. All 3 of these Pokemon are Pokemon that, like, while they saw a little play, they were never considered to be especially good. I think at best, they're probably in the C tier, and at worst, they're a little bit lower. But I think with the new buffs, they could see a little bit more play, if not a lot more play.
Top 3 time, Abomas now. Snow now buffs defense by 50%, so the Christmas tree finally survives long enough to spam Blizzard and make everyone fear freeze. Aurora Veil is an option, but the move slot crunch is real. If your brain just leveled up, pet the like button so my ego can mega evolve. Alright lab rats, that's the rabbit hole. Megas are back, some got sneaky glow-ups, and a few are now built to ruin friendships. Kangaskhan bullies intimidate, Metagross finally hits brains without missing. Agron is a bunker with fists, and Slowbro wants to set Trick Room then commit war crimes with Body Press. If you like this roast, tap like so the algorithm feeds me more humans. Subscribe if you want an edge. I cover a new trending video every single day, so you'll always know what's actually busted, what's hype, and what to ignore. Translation: you'll win more games, trash talk smarter, and spend less time losing to expanding force. Hit subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's commentary. I'll be here, dangling from the ceiling judging. Now tell me in the comments, which Mega scares you the most if these buffs stick? And which one are you actually bringing day 1? Outtake: Shell Smash Blastwise's camera drops. Never mind, it fainted to a light breeze. Peak strategy.